Well, here we are with Steve Kerr to wrap up the Warrior minicamp, the end of the double officially, and we are properly socially distanced, all been tested, and this thing has gone incredibly well. So, Steve, why don't we start with what were your anticipations coming into the minicamp, and then maybe reflect on how everything went from what you thought it would be to how it was executed?
We didn't really know what to expect. You know, it was just given the state of the world these days. So we were in touch with our players, and obviously our organization was putting in so much work to try to put together the schedule. It couldn't have gone any better in terms of safety and health protocols. Everything was done really professionally, and everybody felt safe and secure the entire time. So that was the main thing. That was the number one priority. And then basketball-wise, I would say that went about as I expected. You know, we didn't expect full participation, knowing that Steph and Draymond had family stuff they had to deal with. But given that, it was great to get everybody else in, and good to see Clay. Clay looked really good, and our young guys got a lot of really good work in. So it was a very productive couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you had said this, but then in talking to some of the players, they had told me that, you know, you're around people and you think you know about them and there's a friendship and a coworker type of thing, but until you're really around them and get to know all their backstories and all their family history and all the things that have gone on in their lives, you don't really have that full appreciation for who that person is. And so when you have multiple weeks where you're around each other, every meal, every social situation, every professional basketball situation, there's a lot more opportunity for conversation than even we have during the regular season.
You know, we're really lucky in the sports world to live a diverse existence, to be around people from all over the world, from different walks of life, different races, different religions. And we're really blessed to be able to understand that diversity. But this gave us a chance, the last couple of weeks really gave us a chance to delve into that at a much deeper level. And I think right now it's really important that as white Americans, we listen to the black people in our lives. We actually listen to their stories and their perspectives. And we had a couple of team meetings where it was, you know, guys were really emotional and forthright in sharing some of their experiences, really powerful moments. And that's something that sports can provide, and we're really lucky that we get to experience that.
All right, so we'll take the hard left turn to some of the basketball stuff, in that it was great for me to see Kevon Looney running around, you know, in terms of, and to hear Kevon say physically he felt as good as he has maybe in a couple years and things like that. Give me a little thought on Kevon Looney.
Well, to me, it's the best story to come out of camp because Loon went through an awful lot last year just in terms of his health and the uncertainty around what was bothering him. He had a surgery a few months ago, an abdominal surgery that seems to have really helped him take the next step. And Loon has been in here every day working with Rick Celebrini, and it paid off. He spent the last 2 weeks without a hitch, going through every drill, every scrimmage. He's playing pickup ball today. He hasn't missed a day. So he feels great. He looks great. And given that he is a key component of what has been a championship team, that's the number one story, the number one positive thing that came out of this camp is we feel really good about Loon's ability to be healthy and to be a valuable center for us on this coming year's team.
Because this is so unprecedented, to think about having March off until now, you wonder about young guys. Jordan Poole looks like a different person almost physically. He's just added and changed his body, but then also the confidence he played with during the scrimmage, really impressed with him.
Yeah, I think of all the young guys, Jordan probably stood out the most in terms of the improvement that we saw during camp from the regular season. And it makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, he's a young guy. He struggled his rookie season, as most rookies do, but we knew he had a lot of growth in him. And he's been here in the building working for the last 4 months pretty much every day. So all that work has paid off. You know, he looks great. Played well in the scrimmage, has played well in every drill. He's starting to understand what we're asking of him and what he's capable of doing and what he should avoid doing. And that's actually a big step in becoming an efficient player.
We talked about Kevon Looney, but to me, the center spot is so interesting in that Marquise Chris, I know he's working on his outside shot, but he looked pretty bouncy as well. And I feel Marquise Chris is one of those young guys that kind of fits in with the Warriors.
Yeah, he had a really good year for us last year. So you think about where he was good last year offensively, all the dribble handoffs at the top of the key. He's become an excellent passer. And then the ability to go catch a lob. It's such a great combination. So I can't wait to see Steph, Clay, and Keith play together. Keith has everything he needs to be an outstanding player in this league.
When you look at the building blocks, are very familiar to the fans with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. There's a 24-year-old, 25-year-old in Andrew Wiggins. People take for granted, oh, you just average 20 a game and you're 6'8" and you can play small forward. And you've kind of said, well, the core four will be Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond. I think for Andrew, this is a huge year for him, and I think Warrior fans are going to be really pleased with how he fits in with the other elite players on the team.
Yeah, well, the great thing last year was we were able to see how good he was defensively and what a good passer he was. He actually surprised me with his passing, and he hasn't played with Steph or Clay yet. So let's see what he looks like with those guys. I'm excited because he can guard his position, which is huge. You have to have guys at the small forward spot. I mean, think about the players we have to guard in this league. So to have Andrew to put on to, LeBron, Kawhi, guys like that, but the ability to guard those guys one-on-one where you don't have to send help, where you know what you're going to get, a strong, athletic guy with reach. Now you factor in Steph and Clay offensively, the spacing on the floor, and Andrew's ability to penetrate, get to the rim, get fouled, attack the basket. I think there's a lot of potential. It's a really good fit. The pieces of the puzzle now with Steph and Clay coming back, it all starts to make sense with Andrew. And the focus with him, honestly, is be the best defensive player on the floor. If he can do that, if he can have a great season defensively, that's the next step in his career because we know he's going to score points. He just falls into 18 or 20 every night because he's so athletic.
All right, you know NBA history and you lived a lot of it with Chicago and San Antonio and clearly your tenure with the Warriors. There's never been a dynasty team that took a gap year and then got right back into the mix. And so the Warriors have a historic opportunity to have been 5 years to the finals, 3 titles, the best 6-year run in NBA history, regular season win total, have this gap year, which we know with injuries and things missing, and to come right back and be in the mix. That's kind of exciting. I don't think that the story of Steph, Clay, Draymond, Steve Kerr, Bob Myers, and Dub Nation has been written yet. I think that the next chapter has me very intrigued. I'm really looking forward to it. Do you ever sit for 2 seconds and say, man, this next leap forward or run could be really challenging and really fun?
Well, I know it's going to be challenging. I think what's exciting, not only for us but for Warriors fans, is we have a chance, adding the second pick in the draft to what we already have. I don't know why this fly is all over me right now. Leave me alone. But we have a chance to add a really talented player to a group coming back that like you said, could be still a really, really productive group, and hopefully a group that can give us a chance to contend with the best teams in the league. And that's rare. But it also gives us the opportunity to advance into the next stage of the Warriors iteration, whenever that's going to start, meaning when Steph and Clay and Draymond move on, which, it's inevitable that it's going to happen, unfortunately, but that's the way the league works, that's the way life works. So we get the second pick in the draft this year. We got a couple first-round picks next year. Do we get a chance to not only be good now for the next few years, but even build beyond that? Because what you really want, you mentioned all the teams that kind of fell off a cliff. You want to be the Spurs. Yeah. You want to be, Miami. Teams that have maintained a level, a standard over 2 decades. Maybe they're not great every year, but they continue to push the envelope and to be, relevant year after year. That's what we want.
Right, well, 2 messages, I think, from you and the organization as well as the Warrior medical staff. Everybody get a flu shot. I got my first flu shot ever in my life.
Is that right?
I already went and did it,
right.
Based on Dr. Need and the Warriors staff. And people got to vote. I mean, November 3rd, the Chase Center will be a ballot collection area, and that's something that you've been engaged with, the NBA's been engaged with, the players have been engaged with, and I just think that that's voting, flu shot, mask wearing. These should be 3 things that people just say, I'm in, and then that's where we need to get to.
Automatic, and that we've been preaching that as an organization. I'm really proud that Chase will be a voting ballot drop-off precinct, and proud of our players for preaching the cause. And where we need to be in this country is to make voting as easy as possible for our citizens, not as difficult as possible. And unfortunately, in a lot of places in this country, voter suppression is alive and well, and fear-mongering is alive and well. And we need to get to the point where we can all easily access the ballot, the voting precincts, and express our views, and be able to share actual conversation that's worthy of dignity and respect, instead of just people yelling at each other.
I'll give you the final kind of statement for Warrior fans. I know that we're looking forward to next season. We don't quite know when that's going to be. In terms of fans and testing and safety and health, the Warriors will be at the forefront of that. I think the Warriors actually will lead the NBA and how to get those things accomplished. But just give me a thought, kind of this bubble and Warrior Dubble wrapping up, and to where we're kind of moving forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we all have to remain vigilant, but remain hopeful and positive at the same time. I mean, I'm really happy with what the NBA has done, what the Warriors organization has done. Thrilled to have spent 2 weeks on the practice floor, getting back to doing what we do. It's sort of a vision for what's possible for all of us out there if we can, stick together and follow the protocols and get through this. We're going to get through it, but let's get through it, faster than we will if we, just continue to not take this seriously and suffer so many losses, especially losses of life, but also losses of economic opportunity for people who are, not able to work, and of course, mental health issues that this has caused. Such a dramatic, serious time of our lives, and we've got to all do our part and help each other to get through it.
And that's Steve Kerr, kind of finish things up. Let's get to basketball. Let's get to next season. Let's do it together, and let's be safe and smart. Mask, vote, flu shot. There's only 3 things you have to remember. I appreciate everybody at Dub Nation. And Steve, thank you for taking the time.
All right, thanks. And the fly finally left now that the interview's over, so that's good.